Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Great Malabite Ifeni. Ifeni, I see you also got the memo. Wearing a grey suit.
Good morning, Ruben.
Did the memo come from Tundun MKO Abiyala?
If it matters concern, if it has to do with colors, it has to come from Tundu. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Victoria. Tundu MKO Abiyala.
Good morning,
Let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, with 559 days to go, Buhari on aggressive international investment drive. From Saudi Arabia, France, now South Africa, President wooing investors. Now I just want to read the first paragraph of that story as crafted by the editors of this day. With 559 days to the end of his tenure, a normally reticent President Muhammadu Buhari has come out of his shell, flying from one investment summit to another in aggressive pursuit of foreign investment. Where investors coming into your country, does it really depend on how many flights, how many capitals you visit? Recall, in the first term of President Olusegun Obasanjo, he was out there from one capital to another in search of investment, but we know this story. Investors will move to where the environment is conducive, but we cannot but commend the effort of the president, who is making this last-ditch economic diplomacy shuttle across major capitals of the world, where we wait to see how these investors will respond, because other countries are also pitching for investors' fund, and how you make your environment convenient, comfortable, welcoming to investors will go a long way to actually determine the result of your outcome. Now, if we just look at the story above the lead story of this day, military. We are not planning to overthrow Buhari's government. Declares loyalty to Constitution. President neutralizes 37 terrorists in Uba Askira reprisal. Fintiri mourns General Zikusu. Other soldiers killed in Chibok. Ndume alleges ISWAP regrouping in Lake Chad. Yes, our hearts goes to those gallant soldiers who lost their life over the weekend in that attack by ISWAP, Boko Haram terrorists. These are gallant soldiers who have paid the supreme price in defending our nation. But the army must also look inwards, because if these terrorists can ambush the officers in this manner, is there some blacklegs within the military also giving information? I think that is another angle to look at. But we just look at the Guardian newspaper. Now, while the president is traveling across the country in search of investors, look at what the Guardian is reporting. The Guardian newspaper. Manufacturers lose 50% half-year profit to operating forex costs. Epileptic power supply, exchange rate cost of production by 30%. Stakeholders urge federal government to reschedule existing loans, grant tax holiday to firms. Local sourcing of raw materials, solutions to forex scarcity, says Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Yes, if you have this problem of electricity, where an investor comes into the country, you provide your own power, provide your own water, provide your own road, then the environment will not be welcoming. If your exchange rate is not stable also, investors will take a second look. If they don't know how to move their profit out of your country. So a lot to do at home to ensure that investors come. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper. Banks hedge against new credits. Prefer CBN LDRO, that's loan to deposit ratio fines. Yes, according to this report, despite the best effort of the central bank to ensure that banks give loans to the productive sectors of the economy and even small and medium scale businesses, the banks are ready to pay the fine for not meeting their loan to deposit ratio rather than give money to businesses that they fear will default on loans payment. So this is one issue the central bank has to also take another look at if people are more comfortable paying fines than giving out loans. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, outrage over 54% hike in electricity meter prices, rising cooking gas prices, energy tariff, worsening plight of Nigerians, according to the Christian Association of Nigeria, will resist fresh hike. Consumers. Now, the Punch newspaper, INEC lists core members to conduct direct primaries. INEC officials, federal schools, lecturers, agencies, commissions, workers lined up. NYSC remains largest single pool of personnel available to INEC. Ex-director, yes. Mike Igini was on this program. INEC will be ready. Whatever the law says, direct or indirect. But there are implications, not the type of Ruben usually emphasized. There is implication if you want direct primaries, you will need more hands. That is the implications. Dr. Abati's implication is different. Now, the Leadership newspaper, terrorism sponsorship allegation. Government officials not sponsoring terrorism, federal government declares. Dismisses allegation as a disgusting distraction from counter-terrorism campaign. Troops kill top ISWAP commander, 29 others. Defense headquarters warning soldiers against coup. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, crisis looms as stakeholders set to protest against the CECPC. That's the, the committee, the Buni-led committee, yes, caretaker extraordinary committee of the APC. A number of persons within the party, stakeholders, are campaigning and are ready to kick against this body led by my Buni, the governor of Yobe State. Party begins sale of Ekiti, Osun Goba forms. Congress is yet to hold Zamfara, Osun, Oyo, Anambra. Trouble in Oyo and appeal in Taraba source. That is the situation in the APC ahead of their convention. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, the lead story, children, school without books as cost of paper hits the roof. High cost of paper removes books from students' bags. 60-gram paper now 10,500 naira from 5,100. Card for cover now 17,000 naira from 6,000. Remove import duty on paper. Publishers are urging the government. Writers now publish abroad. Removing duty on paper may not be solution. We need to firm up our currency. The federal government is responding. Who will firm up the currency? The government and its policy. Now, if we just move over to the Daily Trust newspaper, certificate age scandal rocks ICPC. Affected staff given soft landing. Its routine verification commission says mom on scandal. Now, also on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, Ikoyi building collapse, how we escaped. Sokoto teenage laborers are also making how they escaped that. Now, if we just look at the Business Day quickly, the Business Day newspaper, Lagos rekindles hope in rail system 38 years after. Yes, it has been 38 years since the idea for a rapid rail system was first conceived for Nigerian capital, then capital, Lagos. Of course, Lateef Jakonde was the one who conceived that idea of an underground train. He had already marked the path. Houses for demolition, contract awarded, the military came. Of course, the military was led then by certain Major General Ibrahim Muhammadu Buhari was the head of the military junta. And they cancelled that contract. We paid for it. But today, Lagos State is at the verge of commissioning. Work is still ongoing. A new rail system that will ease transportation in Lagos State. Now, if I just make the point quickly on the NDDC and the new states that are angling to be joined as part of the NDDC. Yes, I agree with the Jaw leader that NDDC is an interventionist agency beyond oil for the peculiar area, the Niger Delta. And it dates back before independence when the Willings Commission, yes, came up with the idea that indeed the people of the Niger Delta, as we know it today, deserve special attention in terms of development and in terms of their fare as a minority in the Nigerian polity then. Yes, as a result of the Niger Delta Development Commission, which was set up, we should also realize that there has been proliferation of development commissions in the country. The Northeast Development Commission, the Hydroelectricity Area Production Commission, and only recently this year, in October, the House of Representatives passed a law on the establishment of a Southwest Development Commission and a Southeast Development Commission. But the point that must be made, oil-producing states are entitled, whether they are in Bauchi, Anambra, Lagos, Kogi, are entitled to, of course, the 13% derivation which the consumer prescribes. That in itself is mutually exclusive to that being part of that geographical area. Of course, I can understand why Imo and Ondo are part of that. Because if you check in River State, the area they call Obigbo, you move from Obigbo into Imo. Into the next town there is Asa. That is where Ijoma Wongungu hails from. Of course, I've been there before, during the burial of her father. They speak the same language, so there's contiguity there. Imo, of course, when you talk of Ondo, there are Ijos in Ondo who are, of course, the part. There are some traditional rulers in Ondo whose territory are also part of Edo State, Delta State. So those states are contiguous to the Niger Delta. Yes.
Emmanuel Ofene, we just have to thank you very much for this comprehensive review of newspapers. Our condolences to the Dangote family. Alhaji Aliko Dangote lost his immediate junior brother.
Yes.
Congratulations to Mrs. Maiden Ebro of the Guardian newspapers who won the Courage to Dream Award. And then I think at page 15, this day newspaper has a very interesting editorial today, which is on the gay-child marriages. And the main point is that the girl is a girl, not a bride. And there was a direct attempt there to call out all those lecherous old men who do not allow young girls to go to school because they think that they are brides rather than persons that should develop. And very unfortunately, that story about meters.
Yes.
The cost of meters going up. What does that say about the National Mass Metering Program of the federal government of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.